What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Zach here with Extreme Outfitters, and today we have our special guest all the way from Salt Lake City, Cody with Easton. So, and if you know anything, this is kind of like going back to our start.
Oh yeah.
So Cody was the first person I brought on when we stood up our archery side of things, and it kind of started with our videos.
It's very organic, man.
Very.
Yeah.
It was me and him, and now he's over at Easton out in Salt Lake City. But he came back for holiday, and he's by the shop, swung by, I don't know if that's a word, swung by, came by. And we're talking Easton today.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of new stuff for 2024, man. What you're seeing on the table is, it's the match grade system is what we're calling it. Basically we're elevating match grade, what the meaning of it is. We're not just focusing on 0.001, you know, calling it match grade in that sense of straightness.
Right.
We're enhancing the arrow in the sense of we're putting a different vein on there. We just went with a vein that we called some dealers and wanted to see what vein was going to be the most popular for them.
Which is cool. So the entire match grade system, like you're talking about, is evolving with Easton, which is big. If you know Easton already, the way you guys produce and build arrows is kind of in its own league anyways, as far as consistency goes. What we see across the board, 001, 003, you guys take it to that next level.
Yeah.
And this system that you were showing me is even better. The way you guys test straightness, the entire components. So yeah, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, so match grade in the sense of, it's more than just that center spec like I'm talking about.
Right.
We're also checking for different spots on the arrow for straightness. I mean, on the ends we're checking for end wobble and knock wobble and stuff like that, and those are critical, especially when it comes to accuracy itself. Enhancing the back of the shaft, not really an enhancement, just a little bit of a change.
Right.
Boning, they make a great vein. The AE hybrid, what we did was we just called a couple dealers and said, hey, what kind of veins are you seeing most requested in your shop? What veins are you selling the most of? And AE hybrid, was one of the more popular ones that we saw. There was others in there, but ultimately this was it turned out great. You're seeing 3 different color options here. You've got this orange, I believe it's called sunset orange or fire orange.
Fire orange, okay.
And you've got your white, and you've got your flow yellow. And AE told us these were the most popular colors, so that's what we went with on that. Focusing more toward the front of the shaft, particularly this is the 5mm axis match grade.
So before we get all the way to the 5mm, is this across the board for match grade?
Yes, so that's a unique feature as well. From the 6.5, the Sonic 6.0, the entire 5mm line, the entire 4mm line, in the hunting category, you're gonna see AE hybrid 26
you can get them. So you can still get bare shafts, and now you have the option to get them pre-fletched, 3-fletch configuration with the AE hybrid.
Correct.
vein.
And these are also on a right helical as well.
Okay.
So our fletching devices, man, over at Easton, they're just incredibly precise. So everything you're going to see, it's just wild how this turned out.
So these are going to come right helical from the factory in these color options.
Correct.
Very cool. Very cool. So from there, we're going to move up to the front half of the shaft. This is really super exciting for me. So I know when we first talked about this, we did a Zoom call. We went over these new components, and you don't really get how incredible they are just by talking about it until you really put hands on and see them in person. How big this is for your guys' arrows.
Oh yeah, I mean, with the 5mm itself, the hit insert has been our bread and butter. It's a staple, in the 5mm category. We beefed it up this year with the new 5mm match grade hit collar. And what this collar does is just simply reinforce the front half of this shaft. So all we do is slide it over. We've got our hit insert pre-installed, throw the match grade field point on top, and if you'll notice, they're color matched. I mean, so they're
super clean looking.
They're nickel coated, nickel plated, I believe, nickel coated the color of it itself. But yeah, we just gave it more integrity on the front half. Now the hit insert itself, super strong, super stable. That collar is just going to provide that little bit more rigidity to the front half of it. It looks good. They come in multiple different sizes, so they're spine specific. And they don't weigh a ton, and they're stainless steel.
So the collars come spine specific?
They do.
Okay, very cool. So every spine is different?
Every spine is different. I believe there's 5 or 6 different sizes in this that we're offering. They weigh anywhere from 13 to 18 grains is what we're seeing. So not a ton of weight for the guys that don't want to sacrifice, they don't want to add a ton of weight to slow their setup down. I've honestly just threw these on my arrows, and I can't tell a giant difference in feet per second or any kind of yardage or anything like that, or even the tune of my bow. It hasn't played any effect on it.
What about, so whenever it comes to, okay, so they're number. So number 1, 2, 3,
they're
4.
laser engraved.
Okay, so that's how you identify with spine, just like all the other insert systems. It's the same process.
We just wanted it to be easy.
Very cool. And I mean, super clean looking. These things are mean.
Yeah, they look like a little vampire stick.
They do. I run all the match grade field points.
Yep.
So I'm gonna, and one of the videos we just put out, I got a new Mach 30. We got some, you guys built some Axis 5 mils for me.
Yep.
And I've got those running through. So it looks like I'm gonna have to add some of those collars to the front of those.
It's a great addition. We're super excited for that for 2024. And, you know, going on the 4 mil side, this is where, you know, I get amped up at.
Right.
I love the 4 mil Axis, and, you know, the match grade half out is what we're running now. So what you're seeing here is a 55 grain half out system. What's unique to this system is, if you can imagine these two parts, like you'll see these 4 variations right there. We've used different materials to, you know, to hit the weights that we wanted to, as well as the strength and structure of that. Now we're able to take, we have that post and we have that sleeve or that collar, if you want to call it. We're protecting the post and we're protecting the shaft itself. So now we have a dual purpose. You know, we're keeping the post, you know, from being bent as much as possible, and also keeping any kind of blowout from happening, you know, as much as possible with these materials.
So best of both worlds. This really does take and provide that almost like insurance for your arrow.
It's taking it to a new level, especially for our componentry. I think the engineers, when I got there, they were already working on this, and I remember going out to lunch with, he's our head of product, Clint, and my boss, Gary, and, you know, just chit-chatting about componentry and stuff, and then I get shown this, and I'm kind of like mind-blown, because I'm like, now I've got to hold this secret for the next couple months. I can't tell anyone about it.
You're over there hinting about things, and we're super excited. Yep. Easton is a staple in our brands here. We sell a lot of the different arrows, all the different arrows, and this is super exciting to introduce this coming. It's 2024?
2024. You'll probably start seeing these, you know, the match grade systems themselves heading to dealers middle of December, end of December's, I believe, the anticipated time for it. But hitting back to this half out, we've got a 55 grain. That's going to come standard with all 4 millimeter match grade arrows. So 4 millimeter Axis, 4 millimeter FMJ is coming standard with the 55. Additional options we have available for purchase, you know, we have a 75. So this is a different material. It's a stainless steel aluminum configuration. So that's how we're able to hit that weight, beef it up just a touch. And then we've got my favorite, it's the titanium one. It's a titanium stainless steel combination, and it's 100 grains. So, you know, and then it's just, we're trying to hit these certain weights. We're trying to capture the audience essentially with this. And then you've got the 150. It's a complete stainless steel system. You know, moving up from that half out itself on the stem of it, we have our alignment ring right here. So that's our center alignment ring. What that's doing is just creating the utmost tightest tolerance that we can get on an arrow. So, I mean, when you plug this thing in there, you're going to feel immediately the difference between this half out and what we've had in the past.
There's no slop in it.
Yeah, there's none.
Zero slop.
No slop.
The tolerance is incredible.
Yep.
And so with these, are these all going to be, again, spine-based as well, based off the number system that you got?
We've got a ring system on them, so you can see it on this right here. We've got 5 rings, so that's going to indicate the spine, whether you'll coordinate it between an FMJ or an Axis. So if a 5 might fit like a 250 Axis, but it might fit a 300 FMJ. So they kind of stair-step that system itself.
So are you guys moving away from just the titanium and the other inserts that you had, or is that still going to be in the lineup, that 55 grain?
The 55 grain titanium is still going to be in the lineup. The stainless steel 95 grain, I believe those are being phased out.
Okay. Is the 55 going to have the bushing on it? What did you call it?
The sleeve itself?
Yeah.
It will not.
Okay.
It's going to be the standard 55 that we've had, the titanium itself. But I see a lot of folks making their way into this new half-out system, the match grade system, just for the tolerances themselves, the durability, the toughness. And they are, you know, the titanium's incredibly rugged. There's going to be a lot of folks that still run that. But me, for this year, I'm going to be running the 100 grain stainless steel titanium option.
So you're going to be running a 4 mil shaft?
Yeah.
You're the Axis
4 mil.
Yeah, I do. So hands down for me, the Axis has been kind of a staple in any of my bow builds, I think, since we started. The 5 mil, and now the 4 mil with one of my bows, the 5 mil with the other.
The thing that makes it, you know, our arrows in particular, you know, hard to beat in the sense of is the way we manufacture them.
The process is incredible.
It is. It's called AccuCarbon. So the 4 things with AccuCarbon you need to remember. We control the spine, not only from arrow to arrow, but also around the shaft. So spine from arrow to arrow, spine around the shaft. The next thing we can control is the outside diameter. Now what that's critical for is the half out stuff, is your componentry. It's gonna make sure you have the utmost fitment, you know, the tightest tolerances. You don't have to do any sanding or anything like that.
Thank goodness.
The other side of that is we also can control the weight. So we're controlling every metric possible when we use our AccuCarbon process to make arrows, which you see right here in front of us. So AccuCarbon itself, it's a different way of making arrows that we think is more precise.
Which, the cool thing about it too is, always hit on, I think, is one of Easton's massive selling points as well. It's all US made.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, are we talking components as well?
Components are not.
Components not. But the actual shaft itself is all made here in the US.
Correct.
Which is incredible. And I think that's why the consistency and the tolerances are so tight.
Correct.
Right? You guys, your QC is unreal.
None. Yep. And and actually we do have another arrow in the lineup we're going to bring up real quick. It's called the X10 Parallel Pro. And this arrow itself, it's mainly a target arrow, but if anyone knows anything about X10, we started X10 in 1996. Since the Atlanta Olympics, we've swept every gold, silver, and bronze medal. I mean, it's still today. It's actually, X10 itself is the single most winning piece of sporting equipment in the world.
Which is unbelievable.
It's ridiculous to say that. So, X10 was built for Olympic recurve in mind. Fast forward to 2007, the Pro Tour was created, X10 Pro Tour. That was designed for compound archers in mind. So X10 is a dual tapered, Pro Tour is a single tapered shaft. So, looking into it, we're missing a parallel shaft, a parallel X10. What are we looking to fill the market gaps with that? So the X10 Parallel Pro is coming in at a wonderful price point, and people ask how we get the price point down itself is it's not as labor intrusive and stuff like that with the tapering and everything. Right. So the 4mm itself, a little bit less involvement with it. The quality and the spec and everything is there. So it's actually made in our X10 room along with Pro Tour and X10.
So they got their own room for the X10.
It's locked up like Fort Knox too, man.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why you can't beat it.
Correct, yeah. Correct. The Parallel Pro, but the beautiful thing about it is this is going to encompass everything archery in a sense. For the bare bow guy, for the Olympic recurve, for the compound, it comes in 15 different spines. So from an 1150 all the way to a 250. And some folks are going to want to probably hunt with this shaft when they see the specs on it.
Right.
We're talking 0.001 straightness, half grain difference between a dozen arrows. They're even C-coded as well, and that C-code, what that is just an extra step we use to maintain the quality and stuff like that with weight and everything. So
the X10 Parallel Pro, that is an aluminum.
It's an aluminum
carbon.
Core. Yep, aluminum core, carbon on the outside itself.
So we sold a lot of Pro Comps.
Correct.
To hunters, right?
Yep.
So there was the Pro Comp, the Hunter Series, which was an incredibly popular shaft for us.
Yep.
The guys that were looking for the most consistent, most high-end shaft on the market, those guys were coming in here, we're building Pro Comps.
Correct.
So the X10 Parallel Pro is comparable?
It's actually replacing it altogether.
It's replacing the Pro Comp.
Pro Comp is going away. X10 Parallel Pro is superseding its place. It's going through the extra rigors this arrow is itself with our X10 process, with the C code. It's even a little bit straighter than Pro Comp was. It's 0.001 instead of 0.0015.
Oh,
so
wow.
we're seeing a little bit better spec on this arrow itself, and being it's offered in 15 spines, that's just another plus itself from that 1150 to that 250. So like I said earlier, bare bow, Olympic recurve, and compound, you can run basically this out of any setup you want to play with. It's coordinating the spine with the draw weight, the draw length, everything you need to do to pick out the spine of the arrow.
Right. And so the X10 Parallel Pros come without components.
Without components, yep.
So you'll buy any of the the 4mm outserts, we're going to work with these.
Yep.
And you can build these to whatever spec you want.
Yep, and we also, for the target side of that, like I said, some folks might play with this shaft in the hunting world, but this is truly X10 is in the target lineup. We offer our high-level stainless steel point with that.
Okay.
They come in packages of a dozen. We didn't run tungsten on this. Tungsten's very expensive. If you know anything about our X10s, that they're very expensive to get into a set with a dozen. Right. And it's held for the elite level archers. This is the archer that wants to get the most precise arrow in the game. You're going to run an X10.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the most pristine arrow out there. With Parallel Pro, we didn't run tungsten on it. We used our stainless steel high level point. It's an 80 to 130 grain break off. And then of course you can plug either a pin knock in the back or a G knock if you'd like to run that route. And then if you're thinking about maybe playing around these in a hunting setup, the 4mm half outs, the match grade half outs, you could go that route as well.
So very customizable.
Very customizable arrow.
To whatever you want.
Yep.
Very cool. So Easton's got a lot of big things coming this year.
Yeah.
We're super excited about it. We're waiting for all of our stuff to come in. And I think really the highlight for us and our shop is going to be this new match grade system that you guys have come up with. For us, one of the more popular veins is the AE Hybrid, AE Max Stealth.
Yep.
The difference in the hybrid is it doesn't require
no primer pin.
No primer pin. So it's basically the same spec as the Max Stealth.
It's very close to the same weight. It's very close to the same length. Like I said, it's just easier for a lot of shops, from what, me personally working behind the counter, the hybrids were easier to plug on and play, lick and stick, boom, instead of the primer pin. But I do love a primer pin to rub on the back of the arrow and make sure it's
just part of the building process. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, button it up, man. But other than that, that's the new match grade system, man. So we got 5mm match grade hit collars. So that's for the 5mm lineup, in the sense of, from even the 5mm legacy arrows that we have and stuff for the traditional side, you could run those optional on those. But as far as with the collars, they're going to come with the 5mm match grade Axis, the 5mm match grade FMJ.
They're included?
They're included.
Oh, wow.
Yep, so they're coming stock with them.
And it's, you said, same hit system?
Same hit system, aluminum hit system.
And so you'll still have the ability to run brass in those if you wanted to, 50 or 75 break off.
Correct, yep.
So, again, very customizable. And if you know anything about the Axis 5mm shaft, it is probably the most durable shaft on the market.
It is very durable, yeah.
And, we don't say that lightly. We've seen a lot of arrows that can, really take a beating, but the Axis 5mm has been one of the arrows that we have repeatedly seen. We've seen guys shoot them into a lawnmower. We've had guys shoot them into fence posts, brick, and the arrow still survives and is still shootable.
That's just our engineering team, man. They're smart bunch of cats.
Incredible guys,
real smart folks.
The standard at Easton is incredibly high. You guys have really set the bar really high, and it's just really hard. Any of the arrows you get into, hard to beat. So we're really excited about the new stuff coming in this year. Is there anything that we're missing that we've overlooked?
I don't think so. So we've got the new X10 Parallel Pro. Any avenue of archery, you can play with that thing and have a very precision built setup in a parallel X10 shaft. We've got the new match grade half outs. This guy's come in stock with all 4mm FMJ, 4mm Axis match grade products. And I believe the standard, the half out that we've had prior is going to come with the standard straightness. So if you're wanting this half out, make sure you get the match grade arrows.
So
or you can
match grade only for
match grade only for that. Yep. And then you can purchase all these half outs separately if you want to. They're going to be able to be purchased in 6-packs and stuff.
And of course we'll have those. So if you were looking for custom arrow builds, we'll be able to take care of you. And as far as upgrading components and whatnot.
Nice. Cool.
So very cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming by the shop and talking. It's always good to catch up with you.
Likewise.
So if you guys are interested, all the new Easton stuff we will have coming into 2024, the new match grade system, which we're talking pre-fletched match grade arrows with the high-end components, both 4 and 5mm. And then we will have the new X10 Parallel Pro as well. So we will offer all of this for you guys, all of the Easton fans out there. You'll be able to get it here at Extreme Outfitters. So,
awesome.
As always, we appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for joining us. And like I said, it's always it's a pleasure having Cody here come and really talk the technical side of things with us when it comes to arrow building and arrows from Easton. So make sure you guys are following over all of our social channels. Head over Extreme Outfitters on our Instagram, Facebook, our TikTok accounts. We've got giveaways going on. We've got a lot of great educational information there as well. And as always, we appreciate you guys checking us out, and we'll see you guys in the next video.